Shocking news once again comes from the South Korean entertainment industry. Jungkook, one of the BTS members known for his extraordinary stamina on stage, was reported to have to receive intensive care in the hospital. A big question immediately arose. Does this condition become a serious signal that the physical health of a global artist can be eroded by an almost non-stop schedule? This incident quickly attracted sharp attention from various media in Korea. Some reports mentioned that the symptoms Jungkook experienced were not merely a minor health problem. The main suspicion that developed was extreme exhaustion due to promotional activities, training, as well as preparation for the latest music project that was reportedly being finalized. In this context, health issues are not merely personal matters, but structural problems that reflect the hard-working patterns of the K-pop entertainment industry. Fans all over the world immediately reacted. On social media, thousands of messages of support and concern emerged in just hours after the news of medical care spread. However, behind that expression of solidarity, there is a far more critical question. Why does the health of artists often only become an issue after an emergency occurs? Does the working system behind the international entertainment industry instead push idols to continually exceed the limits of their body's ability? Industry observers noted that Jungkook's case was not a single incident. In recent years, a number of K-pop artists were also reported to have experienced health problems due to the extraordinary pressure of tight schedules. This phenomenon strengthens the view that there is an imbalance between career demands and the maintenance of both physical and mental health. Jungkook, with his position as a global icon, only makes clearer how serious this problem is when even a world-class artist is not free from such risks. Korean media began to dig deeper. Some columnists assessed that the high-performance standards imposed on idols created pressure that is difficult to avoid. Not infrequently, they only have very limited rest time between album preparations, recordings, photo shoots, international promotions, and equally busy personal schedules. In such conditions, the human body certainly has a saturation point. Extreme fatigue then becomes a consequence that can hardly be prevented without systematic changes. The increasingly loud question now is, to what extent is idol health truly protected by agencies and the entertainment industry? The public sees that every time there is a case like this, the official statements released are usually limited to, the condition is under monitoring, or the idol needs rest. However, rarely is there further transparency about how the company actively arranges so that the schedule remains healthy for the artist. Jungkook's situation highlights that such practices must now be openly questioned. Health experts also added an important perspective. They emphasized that chronic fatigue due to lack of sleep, prolonged stress, and intensive physical activity can trigger serious disorders such as decreased immunity, heart problems, and even unstable psychological conditions. If early signs are often ignored for the sake of maintaining a professional image, long-term risks can be very dangerous. Jungkook's case, according to experts, must be a moment of reflection that an artist's health is not merely a private matter, but a public issue concerning the work ethics of the entertainment industry. Fans, on the other hand, began to change the way they voiced their support. Many emphasized that appreciation for work should not demand artists to keep performing without end. Social media hashtags calling for Jungkook to rest enough became a symbol of discourse change. Fans are not only waiting for new content, but also demanding real health protection for idols. This condition raises a dilemma for the entertainment industry. On one side, there is huge economic pressure to continue producing works, tours, and activities that maintain BTS's global existence. On the other hand, the health of group members, including Jungkook, is the main foundation for long-term career sustainability. If one aspect is ignored, then that sustainability is instead threatened. Therefore, this case becomes a serious discussion. Is it time for agencies and the industry to collectively formulate stricter health regulations? The incident of Jungkook being hospitalized can no longer be seen merely as a medical case. It is a mirror of the great challenges of the modern entertainment industry, where the line between professional dedication and physical exploitation is so thin. The international community awaits how the agency responds, how the media continues to monitor, and how the public maintains attention to health issues that are often marginalized. The most fundamental question now echoes. Until when must artists' health be at stake for the sake of a grand stage and a non-stop schedule? However, behind the flood of reports about Jungkook being rushed to the hospital, arises one fundamental question that must not be ignored. Does all the circulating information truly reflect facts? Or is it merely part of a narrative deliberately shaped to create a shock effect in the public? This question becomes increasingly relevant when we realize that most initial information comes from social media such as TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, as well as online news portals that often emphasize sensationalism over in-depth verification. How can we ensure that every detail consumed by the public is not distorted by industrial interests or even marketing strategies? The public is certainly not unfamiliar with entertainment media practices that often exploit artist health issues as main reporting material. But is it true that Jungkook experienced a serious medical condition? Or is this situation only packaged in such a way to attract attention? If that is the case, does it not show that fan emotions have become commodities exploited without limit? Questions like these should be the starting point of our reflection before swallowing whole every piece of information presented. Furthermore, the public needs to ask, who benefits the most from the spread of this news? Is it the media that gains increased traffic and advertising profits? Is it the agency that indirectly gains additional spotlight for its artist ahead of the release of the latest music project? Or is it the entertainment industry as a whole that exploits health drama to maintain global relevance? If so, where is the ethical responsibility in safeguarding the truth of information, as well as the psychological well-being of fans? We must also trace deeper psychological aspects. Every time big artist health issues like Jungkook's arise, the public tends to be trapped in a vortex of emotions: panic, sympathy, even anger. But is such emotional reaction exactly what is expected by the parties spreading the news? Are fans' anxious feelings used as fuel to strengthen social media engagement? If so, then we are facing a dangerous practice of information manipulation. On the other hand, there is also the possibility that this case is truly real and depicts the extreme fatigue of a world-class artist due to industrial pressure. If that is the case, then the next question is, why is transparency about artists' health conditions so minimal? Do the public not have the right to obtain a clear and open explanation? And is the lack of information deliberately left so that public speculation keeps developing, creating an endless flow of discussion in the digital sphere? In such a situation, it is important to once again question the credibility of every source. Can viral short videos on TikTok be considered real evidence? Can anonymous Twitter posts be used as main references? Can fast reporting from online media racing to be the first be trusted before there is an official confirmation? If we are not selective, do we not risk reinforcing a chain of disinformation that harms all parties? In the midst of this uncertainty, the public must also realize the existence of a great paradox. On one side, fans crave the latest information about their idols, but on the other side, the need to know everything often traps them in the stream of false news. Is it true that such immense love instead makes fans easy targets for sensational narratives? Is it possible that the worry over Jungkook has indeed been turned into a commodity that benefits certain parties? Sharper criticism must be directed not only at media or agencies, but also at ourselves as consumers of information. Have we been too easily believing every news presented without doing verification? Are we more interested in emotional drama than tested facts? And do we realize that a passive attitude in consuming information makes us vulnerable to being exploited by hidden agendas? Therefore, Jungkook's case must be seen as an important momentum for the public to sharpen skeptical and reflective attitudes. Every news must be responded to with critical questions. Who delivers it? What is the purpose behind its delivery? To what extent can the evidence presented be verified? And who benefits the most from the circulating narrative? If we fail to ask these fundamental things, do we not become victims ourselves of a manipulative information system? In conclusion, the incident of Jungkook being rushed to the hospital, whether real or fabricated, must be taken as an important lesson that information in the digital era must not be accepted passively. The public needs to understand that the truth is often fragmented among various interests, and our task is to piece together those fragments with a critical attitude. The last question that must be reflected upon together is, are we willing to become smart and skeptical readers? Or will we continue to be mere consumers of emotions,